What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more of the Tragically Hip. And we're returning for the first of 3 remaining tunes on the Yer Favourites compilation 2005. Thank you again to Yvonne for sharing this and much else when it comes to music and other media. And ultimately for housekeeping a bit, meaning helping me understand what tracks remain, because with the Tragically Hip compilation here, I've been jumping around from disc to disc and doing them out of order, so big thanks to you. And we're going to listen to At the Hundredth Meridian, which I understand comes from their 1992 album Fully Completely. So a meridian, as far as I know, is a line of longitude. Typically, you hear references to the prime meridian, which I believe is where the international dateline is, which goes through Greenwich, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, I don't know geographically where or what different places the 100th meridian may extend through, but my guess would be somewhere in Canada. So yes, if I'm wrong about that, I'll try to pick up what I can, but speaking about a line of longitude references maybe many places, because it's not a single spot, it's an entire arc that covers vertically the expanse of the globe. So yes, I suppose it could be figurative, it could be just the starting point that relates to a much more narrow and particular tale in one of the places touched by that meridian, or perhaps what happens on either side. Again, it could be, borders are often referred to as points that separate, but they're also points of connection, of meeting between two different things. So maybe there's some dynamic that plays out in terms of the opposite sides of an arbitrarily drawn line. Nevertheless, as I said, I'll see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is the Tragically Hip. The track is At the 100th Meridian, and as with a few other tunes in this compilation, it is given a parenthetical as a remix, so perhaps it's literally just a remixing of the audio, or maybe a remastering, but as I said, in the metadata here, it shows it as a remix. So this is a remix of the Tragically Hip and their At the 100th Meridian, originally from Fully Completely, 1992.
American myth. Take my life in my hands. Where the great plains begin. At the 100th meridian.
Okay.
At the 100th meridian. Where the great plains begin. Driving down a corduroy road. Weeds standing shoulder high. Ferris wheel is rusting. Off in the distance. At the 100th meridian. At the 100th meridian. At the 100th meridian. Where the great plains begin. Left alone to get gigantic. Hard, huge, and haunted. A generation so much dumber than his parents. Came crashing through the window. A raven strays along the line of a road. Carrying a muddy old skull. The wires whistle their approval.
I struggle with that.
If I die of vanity, promise me to bury me someplace I don't wanna be. You'll dig me up and transport me unceremoniously away from the swollen sea breeze, garbage bag trees, whispers of disease, the acts of enormity, and lower me slowly and sadly and properly. Get raccoon to sing my eulogy at the 100th meridian. At the 100th meridian. At the 100th meridian. Where the great plains begin. At the 100th meridian. At the 100th meridian. At the 100th meridian. At the 100th meridian. At the 100th
So much to say. That is an instant favorite. Number one, his vocals in this one. Not only does it sound like either it's him layered, or there's another member of the band beyond Gore that did those sort of call and response sections in the choruses, where they're like almost overlapping each other a little bit. My expectation is that was someone else in the group, but again, maybe it's just Gord layered with his own vocals. Nevertheless, the delivery, and especially for the verses, almost like spoken word poetry a little bit, meaning it was almost a bit out of the pocket time-wise intentionally. There was like he's not spitting rhymes, which, is often related to like hip-hop, but it was like he was singing in poetic rhythm rather than full, like flowing melodic lines. So again, I like the way it was like he was like speaking facts as much as he was singing in a more traditional sense. Number two, it sounds like he's talking about, number one, what was the first line about something like shattering an American myth or something like that? But, talking about the buffalo roaming in the Great Plains, which by the time you get to the 20th century is no longer the case. And I want to say he referenced like Henry Monroe or something. So it sounds like he's talking about stories that Americans tell themselves about the past, but in ways that are not reflective of what actually happened. And there's a lot of like sharp, witty criticism, it sounds like, about places and perceptions, and then maybe even turning that around on himself, that, if I ever get too vain about this, bury me in a place where I don't want to be, or dig me up unceremoniously and put me down somewhere else, and talking about the trash bag trees in the city. So again, it sounds like there's a lot of witty, well-worded criticisms, and indeed, it sounds like there's a lot of alliterations. There was like a one with H's. I forget exactly what it was, but yeah, it sounds like some of the phrasing in the song is written not only cleverly, not only delivered in a maybe slightly musical poetry style, but there's a lot of wordplay, specifically alliteration. So yeah, it sounds like there's some clever criticisms being levied, maybe again specifically toward like American history and what, popular cultural history, the ideas that Americans like to tell themselves about their own history, even if it's divorced from the more nuanced, complicated, or harsher realities that actually played out. So yeah, again, maybe that's only one dimension of the lyrics, because there were some other lines that I don't know quite how to place them, including the line about the cities and the trash bag trees. So, that could be about the way that progress and urbanization is, in sort of a Faustian way, often, it's not great for everybody, and there are downsides even as things may improve in technological ways or in terms of access for some people and so on. So either way, I really enjoyed this one. Sonically, a rockin' tune. I love the drums, like riding on the ride cymbal in different points, and some of the drumming more generally. Definitely a bit of a like wah-wah sound of the guitar, which was really standing out at the end. And again, another tune that you just want to crank up in your car, roll down the windows, and drive around near the Great Plains or something to, get a immersive feeling for some of the phrases and concepts being invoked, even if I don't fully understand them on a first listen. So yeah, a really cool one. Definitely enjoyed this a great deal. Let me know what you think about it, and I will see you next time. Peace.